Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to quickly give an introduction to Kairili UK and the purpose of the organisation before introducing our chief guest for the day, and sort of set the context of the webinar. Kairili UK is an Indian community progressive cultural organisation that have been working in the UK for the past 2 years. So as a volunteer community organisation across the UK with the background in doing socially charitable initiatives, we are increasingly being contacted by many migrant care home workers, mostly from the southern part of India, who have either been terminated illegally from work, facing abuse and not being offered a job once they land in the UK, and also not getting paid for the work they're doing, and also sometimes made to work excessive hours only to then be terminated in some instances. So this is a huge issue that needs to be looked into by the government, both here and the respective overseas countries. So the current scenario is pretty much that these candidates are either in the UK or on a health and care worker visa, or are in the process of getting their visa. And the recruitment is offered and managed by agencies in India that are licensed by the Ministry of External Affairs, and many have unlicensed sub-agents. And these agencies are highly commercialized and take between £8,000 to £25,000 per candidate. And in some cases, most cases, the candidates are offered a certificate of sponsorship after being charged heavily for the recruitment process. So what Kairili UK has done so far, so we have written to all the MPs in the UK and have been offering individual support to those who got in touch with us. And we're also liaising with the government and police in India to support with the individual cases. And the good news is that we have managed to help some with getting their money back. So why is this session important? So as a newcomer to the UK, most people don't know about the importance of joining a trade union like RCN. Most people don't know why the importance of joining a trade union is important, and most people in healthcare who are new to the service do not know why joining RCN is important. So RCN is founded in 1916. It's a Royal College of Nursing. It's a professional organisation for nurses and healthcare workers in the United Kingdom. And I'm truly honoured to introduce our remarkable guest of the day, Dr. Nichola Ashby, the Deputy Director of Nursing at RCN. Dr. Ashby is a distinguished member of the nursing community and a passionate advocate of the RCN. Dr. Ashby's dedication to the field of nursing and her commitment to the mission of the RCN make her a shining example of why joining this esteemed organisation is of paramount importance. So Dr. Ashby will be talking to us more on the importance of why joining the trade union is important, but she's also here to understand the gravity of the current situation that you're all facing. We're also joined by Dr. Ajmal Pradeep. Dr. Pradeep has been very helpful. She's been with us right from the beginning. She's the program lead at NHSBT. She's also the senior transplant coordinator at King's College London. She is also the RCN International Committee member and also part of the NMC Expert Advisory Group member. So the format of the session is as follows. The talk will go straight to the talk by Dr. Ashby, which will be followed by a Q&A session. And questions can be asked in Malayalam. Translation can be made available. So Q&A session questions in Malayalam ചോദിക്കാം. Translation കൊടുക്കുന്നതാണ്. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Dr. Ashby. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, and thank you very much for the invite. I really want to say that I'm truly shocked at the things that I'm hearing, but unfortunately not surprised, and I'm hearing an escalation of this. And so what I really want to thank Ajmal for bringing these issues to the RCN, as well as the fact that we will be able to talk a little bit. I'd like to talk a little bit about what we do as a trade union and a professional body, because we're truly unique. But then I'd also really like to hear from people and hear what their experiences are, and then we have What we really need is evidence of this for us to be able to take that very, very clearly to the government, because whilst we express that this is occurring, we really need to hear from individuals that this is happening to, both here and at home, from where people are coming from. So quite rightly, as you've said, the Royal College of Nursing, it's a little bit misleading sometimes when you hear the word college and you think that this is a school of nursing or a university. It's absolutely unique. It's over 500,000 members within the UK, right across the UK, working across health and social care.
Sorry, Dr. Ashby, you got muted.
There we go. I've unmuted. Can you hear me? That's okay. Okay, so our members are also really, really, really unique. We have members that work within the UK who come from all across the world. Not only our British and UK nurses, we have also internationally educated nurses. We have diaspora nurses, and we have nurses who are also registered nurses, but unregistered nurses, students, and right the way down to our cadets. And our cadets are around 16 years old, right the way up to retired members. I myself am a member of the Royal College of Nursing as well as working here, and I've been a member since I was 17, which of course was only yesterday, but it's a long time ago. And I've seen a significant change in nursing within the UK, and the RCN is attempting to be able to support the workforces that are coming in from abroad. When you join a trade union, when you're coming to the UK, you join a family. When you join the RCN, you join a group of nurses who have expertise in employment relations, legal situations, and also our professional offer. And our professional offer is quite unique as well. What you have access to is education, career pathways, resources, standards, publications, many different areas that can help you not only in your practice and practice delivery, but also in areas of career development. And I know that many nurses are coming to the UK with an enormous amount of experience that is often not being seen as valuable by their employer, or not actually truly appreciated and supported for their own development within the UK when they're here. We see lots of cases coming through our membership that are raised with us. And as a member of the Royal College, you are able to receive legal support and also access into our financial funds. Now, I have spoken to the Royal College departments over the last couple of days, and I have raised this significantly, the areas that Ajmal had brought to me. And what has come back unanimously from across the UK regions and countries is what you were talking about previously there is completely illegal. This is illegal within the UK, but actually it's having the confidence of where to go, how to seek support, and who to be able to talk to, and how to get help. One of the main areas that we really want to talk about today is how do we help you by signposting you to the right areas. Now, if you become a member of the RCN, you are actually eligible to be able to then have legal support and trade union and employment support, where we can stop this happening with your employers. Secondly, tackle those recruitment agencies right at source and what's happening within the UK. And also really bring these to the attention of the government. So it's a real multi-pronged approach for what we can help you with. What I'll be able to do afterwards is send out some details around, firstly, points in the RCN where you can receive access, and then secondly, how to become a member. So I think there are lots of areas that I'd like to talk about, but what I'd really like to hear from are the members of your group here, what your experiences are, and how potentially we can start to address them and offer some support to you. And then I will circulate the information around joining the Royal College. Do remember, you do not have to be a registered nurse or registered within the UK as a registered nurse to be able to join the Royal College. You can join as a nursing support worker and a healthcare support worker across health and social care. So that does not exclude you if you have not gone through the NMC registration within the UK. Would you like to add anything to that?
Just one thing, Nikki, maybe just because of the Asian culture, what we have grew up with, normally the nursing profession is considered as a noble profession. Of course, it's a noble profession. So as soon as someone asked us to join a union, trade union, it was a big no when we all, started our nursing career back in India. So I think that is something maybe restricting some of our nurses who come over to UK thinking that, oh gosh, I don't want to be part of this trade union because we are part of a noble profession. So that is something we have to learn. It took some time for me even to, understand the need for it. So I think anyone who are listening to us today, please remember trade unions are important in the UK, because especially with the stories what we are hearing from each of you, it's not easy to digest, because these are some things which I've heard from you in the last couple of months, which we never heard. Maybe in early 2000 when we all came, we never heard all this kind of stories. So these are not stories, these are your life. So this is what, as Nikki said, we are here to, Royal College of Nursing members and the legal team are here to support you. So this is your time, this is your platform. So if you have got questions, please feel free to ask. Nikki is here to help us to take this further, because she's got, as one of the leading trade union in the UK, Nikki and the team have got those links to raise this concern to the political level and the Home Office levels. So let us take this opportunity. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you. I think that's a really good point, actually, around trade unions. And when people hear the Royal College is a trade union, that can sometimes be a little off-putting. The uniqueness of our organisation is that we're a Royal College and we're a professional body. And the professional body is the voice, the representation of nursing within the UK. And actually, it holds a lot of weight and it holds a lot of credibility around the world, because we are the largest trade union and professional body. We're the only trade union and professional body in the world, and the largest one from a membership perspective. And what we've seen recently around our work with strikes, and I spoke to many nurses who were from the internationally educated nurses who'd come over, and some confusion and some fear, actually, and anxiety around the trade union activity recently. When we had a conversation around that, one of the areas I really wanted to make very clear was we are here to make sure that we sort of dispel some of those myths within the UK. Being part of a trade union, if nobody can take your visas away from you, they can't stop you working, they won't be seen as a negative. It's actually probably, I think the majority of nurses are part of a trade union of some description, and being part of the Royal College is seen very positively, actually, by employers, because of the ability to access into up-to-date education, as well as be able to understand what are your rights here within the UK.
Before we move on to the Q&A, there are just a couple of things I wanted to ask Dr. Ashby. So as sort of mentioned by Dr. Pradeep, she said that this issue has already been taken up by the RC, and you've known about it, you've talked to various officials about it. Could you perhaps tell us a bit more about what has actually happened so far regarding the care home workers migrant scam related issues?
Yes, yesterday I met NHS employers, actually, and had a conversation with the recruitment group from the NHS England, which is not social care and is not in the care homes. But I met with them yesterday and had a discussion. And one of the things they asked of me, and the other trade unions were there, so Unison and Unite, we all were reporting exactly the same things: escalation in this kind of activity. And what we promised that we would be doing is bringing back that evidence. And that's what I'm really asking people to give me is the evidence, because I can raise the issues, but I have to demonstrate that this is where this is happening. I've also spoken to the Nursing Midwifery Council around recruitment issues, recruitment areas, and threats actually that we've heard about sometimes around ways of working, employment, but also financial threats to say you can't get out of contracts without X, Y, and Z being paid. And they very clearly asked for me to be able to raise who are the individuals, who are the organisations that are undertaking this, because they will come and investigate, and they will be coming and taking in some very strong words and strong letters. But what we need to do is get right to the heart of this. We need to be able to find out, because I'm fearful that one company will be replaced by another company. And so we need to put, what I've asked is that the trade unions, as a group of trade unions, we all meet together to find out who are we hearing about, where can we tackle this at source, and how can we address this with the Department of Health, who are responsible for social care, and also NHS England and other areas across the UK, because it's slightly different in the other nations. It was discussed considerably yesterday amongst us as a group of senior leaders with the International Committee around how we can move this forward and what our plan is to be able to tackle this with the government and raise this with a relation to visas, immigration laws, and the illegal processes and protocols that are being undertaken by these organisations. And so when I've gathered all this evidence, I will be taking that back, and I will promise, you have my words, to feed back to you on what the outcomes of that are. I can't promise it will happen overnight, but I can promise it I'm not going to drop it.
Thank you. So over to the floor to ask for anyone to ask any questions on RCN in general, trade union membership, and also to speak directly to Dr. Ashby about your current situation. So I can see a couple of hands up. Korean, do you want to go first?
All right. I'll ask a question which is generally asked in the chat group. One is, can someone join the trade union before starting the job? A lot of these candidates are in the UK. Most of them have done their induction. Some of them haven't. Some of them have no contact with their employer. So when it comes to trade unions, like, they want to join, but they're not sure whether they can join because they haven't started working yet.
Yes, absolutely. If they're here to be able to work in healthcare, they can look to join the trade union and the professional body. And I would suggest that as I send you the links over, then people can start to explore it. We also have a web page which will give you all of the answers with facts and information that I'll be able to share those links with you, so that people can go in and explore that around what is it that how do we bust the myths about coming in and joining the trade union.
Sorry, one more question related to that. A lot of employers are bogus. They're not on the list itself.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the form filling, they can't find their employer. Is there any other way around to join without finding your employer on the list?
They shouldn't actually ask for the.
No, maybe for some other union, because few of them ask me, like, I can't find my employer, so how can I join? Maybe
that's the case. You have got some links on the web pages to be able to talk to our membership services, who will help you.
They can talk directly.
That we have an open line for that. I also spoke to our membership services today and said, for those people who are in dire straits now, who are in need now, and maybe aren't members, there is something we need to do for those individuals who are struggling to get food and struggling to feed their families and are in problems now. And we're having some internal meetings around that, and I'll be able to feed back on that on how do we source the information and also direct you to exactly the right places. And you can ring the Royal College even as a non-member and get those names and places that you'll be able to go to. Obviously you get the legal and trade union support when you become a member, but information is gold, isn't it, really?
Okay. I promise this is my last question.
No.
A lot of them, because they haven't started working yet, they don't have any income at the moment. A lot of them are working fewer shifts, like they only get like few hours a week. They're struggling to really survive. So do they get a membership discount if they are in a particular situation?
There are hardship funds that you can access as you come through into and we can direct you to other ways of getting hardship funds which are outside of the Royal College. So the membership for nursing support workers and care workers is around £6 a month. It's not very much. It's not a lot. Although when you're struggling to feed your family, that can be seen as quite a lot of money. So there's something about going in and finding out what's right for you, and then raising that with the membership services who are there to help you and to talk to them as you start to proceed through the membership, because we will help you and we will guide you. And we are about to bring a handbook out for people, not only people who are in the country, but people who are coming to the country, so that it's up on our web pages, so you truly see what it's like to come to the UK, because it's not paved with gold all of the time, is it? It's expensive to live here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ashik, I saw your hand go up and then go down. Did you have a question?
Yeah, hi, Dr. Ashby. My question was very quick. So I know as a union, how closely do you work with sort of immigration type aspects? Because some of these cases, if it gets reported, it may end up with our affected individuals who are victims in this case being penalized by the Home Office by having to go back to where they came from. Now, how can the union give us that protection to allow those victims to come forward and be open about the issues they're facing? Because this is a very critical, this is basically goes to the heart of the problem that we're facing here. Because, if people have to come forward, and if the government has to see this is a serious problem, we need some form of assurance from the union and, from the government to start with, that these people won't be penalized for coming forward and telling them that they were exploited by the employers who indeed used a loophole of the government's policy to bring them here in the first place.
I think that's an excellent question. That is an absolutely spot on question, because fear is often something that stops people speaking up. And one of the things around the trade union is, although we do work with these groups, we're not working in alignment with the government. We're there to be able to support our members. And one of you've probably seen it, you've seen Pat on television. There is absolutely no way that she lets the government get away with anything at all. So there's never any assurances in anything in life, but we would absolutely work tirelessly to make sure that we can support those individuals whilst they're going through their cases. And some of those cases sometimes take years. So we support people with legal support. We also make sure that they have places and we know where we can help people to be able to find places to live. And also there is no victimization. We would not tolerate victimization of any of our members in any way, shape or form. And so it's really how to help you to allay those fears. And I think if we speak to membership services, you'll see that there's an awful lot of support there for individuals as well as their families, and also to be able to make sure that I can assure you we do not hand over anything to the government that would put anybody in any jeopardy at all. And we fight very hard to make sure that those individuals are secure.
Okay. Would that mean that these cases or anyone who comes forward would be anonymized in a sense while speaking to the government? Or I don't know if that is the way you operate.
I'm not looking for names. I'm not looking for names and for individuals. What I really want to know is what's truly going on. And we have a platform as well where people can go onto called Sense Maker, where it is anonymized, and people put their stories up there, and we use that as case history evidence to be able to move forward. So there is absolutely no way I would be asking somebody for names, because I wouldn't put anybody in any difficulty at all.
Thank you.
The questions can be asked in Malayalam. So Malayalam questions ചോദിക്കാം. It would be translated, so you can speak directly to Dr. Ashby.
I'm very tempted to ask another one. So a lot of candidates who are working with domiciliary care are not paid for their travel. So these guys start early morning and come back late night, and they're only paid for the amount of time they work within a domestic environment, wherever they are assigned to. Is that legal to charge like that?
There are many aspects of this that aren't legal, and there are many aspects of this that are unethical. And the two are walking different lines, really, although they are in parallel. I think what it all depends on, and what the Employment Relations Department in the trade union look at is the guidance, the laws, the legalities around that, and they actually take that case on. And we have, what happens is when we take those cases on, you would have a caseworker who would undertake questioning that with the employer and raising that with the appropriate areas legally, but also making sure that any back pay is also given. So we have many cases that come through in those similarities. Students are an example of this. Our students, we've just managed to secure a huge increase for our students because they also were paying for their own travel, and that is not acceptable because nobody else does that. And there is a law in the UK where travel needs to be paid. I think it's about 50p a mile. Some places do pay 20 to 30p. I have also heard recently of cases that have come through with some people only been paid on an apprenticeship wage or £10,000 a year. That is not legal. These aspects are not legal. So there are many facets of this that are contravening the immigration laws.
Thank you.
I think, Dr. Ashby, something else we hear a lot from the candidates is that they're being asked to pay a huge amount of money, somewhere around £5,000, £6,000 to undergo the basic training courses that are available online. So
Wow.
yes, so I don't know if you want to.
Nikki, these are the training we're talking about, mandatory training.
Like manual handling, that sort of thing.
Applicants being asked to pay for this mandatory training by the employers. And yeah.
Manual handling is part of your job, and so therefore a requirement for you to be able to deliver your care safely. That is not something for you to pay for, that is for them to provide. And so therefore that's another case that we would definitely take forward. That's completely unacceptable. And people who do access, but I mean, courses, sometimes people have paid for additional continuing development courses, and that is entirely different. But if your employment is relying on this and then you're being asked to pay £6,000 for that, that's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. So that's another area that we would definitely be looking into.
I think this is just a way to charge them, like, they want to take money from them and they're finding it reasons. So it's like one is training, one is DBS, one is the uniform, even uniform, they are charged. So these are just like, they just want to show an invoice to them to get their money.
So we're saying that individuals are charged for their own, to pay for their own uniforms, for their own DBS, for is this before they start work or as they start work?
I think it's mostly before they start work. It's kind of the money they've been asked as the agent's commission is being invoiced like that, so that they're in a safe zone.
Some things we have heard, Nikki, because obviously if they have taken like £8,000 from an applicant, they ask for an invoice, and this is what they are invoicing out. They'll say, like 3,000 for the home office or the visa fee or whatever it is, just an example. Then they'll say, £1,000 for your training or £2,000 for your, the entry requirements and what so on. So the list goes on. So for them to make up that £8,000 or £12,000, this is how they individualize the items.
The recruiters or the recruiters?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course, the employers are working with the recruiters. So
and this was raised. Yes, this is what we raised with NHS England yesterday. Actually, when we spoke very much around, there is no regulation of recruiters, and that is a problem because you will have recruiters that will close the doors one day and spring up in and so there's something that we're asking the government for as a group of unions is to regulate the recruiters. Because it's especially for those coming through social care.
Yeah, I think that's something we heard from CQC as well, because sadly the Home Office doesn't know how many nursing homes or residential homes are in the UK. So
No.
when they issue the visa or when they have to do an audit, they don't have any backup for that.
Yeah.
So this is where it all begins.
Mhm. Same with domiciliary care. It's quite easy for someone to start a domiciliary care company and issue any number of COS, sponsorship letters, because next day they can vanish without any trace, because they don't have a care home, they don't have any facility, they can operate from their home. So the domiciliary sector is more of a hotspot for the scammers now.
Okay. Thank you.
Something has come up today, actually, Nikki. I mean, I just saw it on social media. One particular recruitment agent, as far as we are, I mean, I don't have any evidences, but I'm sure some of the members in the group may be able to provide that. Apparently brought over 400 nurses through this one particular recruitment company, and none of them been given a job. And they all have paid thousands to this particular. So it's not even 1 or 2 or 10 or 20. We are talking about over 400, mainly nurses in that cohort, being given this health and social care visa and being employed into the domiciliary care kind of a pathway. When they arrived to the UK, they didn't have an employer, and obviously there was no one to contact. So these are the scenarios growing as the days goes by.
I'm so sad to hear this, and it saddens me and embarrasses me as a resident of the UK, of the treatment that people are getting as they come through, and I absolutely feel that this is stress.
I think there's also the other side of it, the patient safety side of all this as well. So we were on a call, we were on the call, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and a lady was saying that she comes from a nursing background, but she was given some training on adult nursing, adult care, but was put into a facility, a children's home facility with children with autism and learning disability. So there's the other aspect of that here as well, the clinical safety, which is also a great concern that needs to be looked into.
As certain Ajmal had spoken to me previously around the numerous education that is being offered out and costed and etc. is not often by people who are at the right level, shall we say, or the right quality of education that are being provided to people, and there is no way of knowing who that is sometimes with these large amounts of money coming through. So that's an area that I'm obviously, as an educationalist, I feel very strongly about.
I think also something else that seems to be coming up quite a lot is that people don't know who to turn to when they are being terminated without a good enough reason. And sometimes they're told that if they sign the termination letter, they will find an employment somewhere else, and then they are sort of they just get lost in the system. So can RCN provide some sort of help and support for people who find themselves in such situations?
Absolutely, that is 100%. What we would be able to offer that support, and I think one of the things that I would strongly advise is to explore the web pages and see the links that we send across. And I know Ajmal has placed up a link there, but I'll send you out some extensive stuff that we have around this. I'll format it for you and send it across. But then you can see exactly the breadth of that support. If it isn't something that is from internal within the RCN, we clearly state we will help you to be able to find the right support in external agencies and signpost to the external agencies. So membership is one facet of that, and obviously I would really like as many people as I could to come through and to get membership, because then we'll be able to clearly come through and support you. But we're also here to be able to help signpost and to make sure that we get something out there so that people will know where to go to get that appropriate voice heard and that appropriate support, because this is not acceptable in it at all.
Thank you, Dr. Ashby. I think something else though, that's also quite important for the listeners here is to know whether when people do call into the ASEAN Help Desk, is there an option for them to ask for translators or people who speak different languages?
Yes, there is. Yes, I mean that we do recognise that we need to be able to be good at, get better at that as well. So it's what languages you would require for support completely.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions from the floor?
I'm just thinking, Priya, we know in the past when we had these sessions, there were many express their concerns and share their experience. So if any of you who shared the experience in the past, maybe a good idea, if you can, it may be good for Nikki to hear directly from you rather than through a third person. So if you, if we all make mistakes, so don't worry about it. So if you can speak up, we can. I think that will be good.
അതെ കോളില് ജോയിൻ ചെയ്ത ആർക്കും ഹാൻഡ് റേസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് എനിക്കൊരു ഡയറക്റ്റ്ലി നിങ്ങളുടെ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യാവുന്നതാണ്. വളരെ വളരെ ഇൻസൈറ്റ്ഫുൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള കാര്യമായിരിക്കും നിക്കിക്ക്. സോ പ്ലീസ് ഡോണ്ട് ഫീൽ പ്ലീസ് ഡോണ്ട് ഫീൽ ബാഡ് about speaking in Malayalam.
Rajesh raised his hand. Rajesh.
Yeah. You can, do you want to unmute?
Hello, Dr. Ashby. My name is Rajesh. I got a question on behalf of some people. Asked me a question. Is most of this trade union? One of their question is their problem is at the moment imminent to be sorted. So how long they have to wait after they join a union to get help from the union?
That's another excellent question, and this is a conversation that we've been having inside around immediate help, because I appreciate that there are people in this situation now, and I can't give you the complete answer to that in weeks and months, but there or even days. People need help today. And what I have been assured from inside the RCN is the first thing we would do is make sure we signpost you to the right places to be able to get that help. So money for food, making sure that you're able to be in a more stable position as we start to pick through the problems and then sort out the problems with you and help you. So the trade union support is there, and it starts right from the first day that you come in, and our employment relations support is right from the first day that you join. So once you're in, and we're there to help you.
Thank you. I saw Anita's hand go. Anita, unmute ചെയ്തിട്ട് സംസാരിക്കണമെങ്കിൽ സംസാരിക്കാം.
Hi ma'am, my name is Anita and I'm from India. Actually, I've been here just 1 month, and many persons are here with the victims of this type of scam. Like they are gain money from us, and there is no job, and I can't find my care home in this location they are mentioned in my COs. So how can you help ma'am? Because I'm not a person. Many are paid for 25 lakhs around Indian money in here for job, but we are helpless.
So that's around 25,000 pounds. Okay, money.
So there's no care home at all, that you've come to the UK and there's no care home.
No. I go there and I search the care home in the location they are given in my COs, but I can't find the care home there. And I call my employer and the agencies, and they are like just no answer properly, and they are giving another interview for me. They schedule an interview in Surrey, I think in last Monday, and I go there and I got the job also, but that is also domiciliary care. I paid for the care home work, and they are giving the domiciliary care for us ma'am, and I'm not a driver. That's a big issue for me, and we are struggling for the survival in UK.
So that's another big issue. One, the job offer letter is given by a company which is situated in London or Birmingham or somewhere, and they say, okay, your care home is elsewhere. And when these guys reach that location, there's nothing like that. So this is like it's more like a fake letter they're providing from a company. Second thing, the job offered for them is to work in a care home.
Yeah.
But when they are here, they were told like, no, sorry, it's a domiciliary care because the care home is not there.
Okay.
And also, Nikki, the money what they pay, it's not coming to the UK account. The account number been given, and I'm not sure whether you will be able to
Same
elaborate
case, ma'am.
that.
I paid to the Indian agency for the money, and they told me that in the UK, the company name is LSR or something like that. In the owner is Yusuf. His name is Yusuf. He's also from India, but the consultancy told me that they given the all money for the Yusuf, and we have no idea about it, and we didn't have any idea like this is the scam or something. But we are calling every day for them and asking that what we can do for the job and something, and they are getting very we are getting very trouble, man, and this is the main issue we are facing.
How many are in similar position as you, Anita?
Pardon?
എത്ര പേരുണ്ട് അനിതയുടെ സെയിം പൊസിഷനിലുള്ളത് ഈ സെയിം റിക്രൂട്ടർ കൊണ്ടുവന്ന്?
ആള് കൊണ്ടുവന്നിട്ടുള്ളത് മോർ ദൻ 48 സംതിങ് ഉണ്ട്. എൻ്റെ കമ്പനി മാം ഇറ്റ്സ് നെയിം ഈസ് കെയർ സ്ട്രീം ഹോം കെയർ. ഇറ്റ്സ് സിറ്റുവേറ്റഡ് ഇൻ അബിങ്ടൺ, ഓക്സ്ഫോർഡ്. അവിടെ മലയാളീസ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളത് ഒരു 5 പേരാണ് ടോട്ടൽ. അതിലൊരാൾ തമിഴാണ്, പക്ഷെ അവർക്ക് മലയാളം അറിയാം ഹസ്ബൻഡിനും കാര്യങ്ങൾക്കും. പക്ഷെ അവർ എന്നെക്കാട്ടി ഒരു 5 മാസക്കാട്ടി വന്ന ആൾക്കാരുണ്ട്.
So over 48 people
Yes.
being recruited by the same person, and they're all in the similar position. None of them have work.
Then they are offered like the position senior carer. It's for 5-year visa also.
And sadly, Nikki, some of them have come with their families.
Yes, that's my main issue, ma'am.
So are you with the family, Anita?
No, I'm single. The person I know, working in the same company, she's with her family and the small kid also.
And do you live in a safe place now, or have you got an accommodation?
Yeah, I got accommodation because my friend is staying in Southampton, so I'm here with him, and I paid the room for £550 in every month, and I'm looking for the sharing.
That's the other thing. So when they during the recruitment process, are they also? I've heard that they also ask for 6 months rent in advance.
But my case, they didn't ask about that, and they told me that they are providing the accommodation also. The company is providing accommodation for the clients also, but we didn't get anything like that.
They didn't provide you with any accommodation at all?
No.
So you came to the UK and you found out that you had nowhere to go.
Yeah, I just asked my friend about the accommodation, and he's helped me to accommodate in the same home here. He is staying in UK. And the agent given another contact for the accommodation. His name is Anub. He's also located in London, but he's like paid more than offered £250 for another girl for the accommodation procedure, and she paid £250 to him, and it's also a trap. He didn't give the money back.
So what is that? Sorry.
Can I ask for sort of, I know that we're on limited time here and there's a lot of people on the call, but can I ask for a chance to sort of separately sit with people and get the names of these individuals and these companies, and so that we can start to do some urgent action to be able to help you here?
Yeah, we can certainly organize that.
That'll be great help. Yeah.
Thank you,
We can
ma'am.
collate the information.
Because that's just, and this isn't to be able to, and I'm going to go back to the first question that came back. This isn't about putting you in any danger in any way, shape or form from a visa perspective, or from this is about me urgently tackling what is happening here, but also giving you support for those individuals that are coming forward.
I can see Ranjit has got his hand up. Do you want to unmute yourself and ask the question?
Yeah. As a representative of students over here, I would like to ask, not about the full-time workers. Most of the students who is doing the studies over here are also part of healthcare facilities over here. So we are doing part-time care jobs as well. So what's the benefit for the students if whether they can be a part of the union or not? That's a question I would like to ask, because most of the students also is having some issues with the agencies over here, because they are exploiting the students' rights, and also they are getting less pay for their job, and even they are not having any security in the job places as well, because even the permanent staff did anything wrong, the agency students who is doing the agency over there, they're getting blamed for that, and they're getting banned from that care home. So no one is here to ask about their rights as well. So as a union or organization, we can do anything to help with the students?
Completely. The students have the same rights and exactly the same as our nursing support workers, as our registered nurses. It's exactly the same. The student is the cost for the student membership is £10 a year, so it's 84 pence a month. That's what you pay as a student, a trainee nursing student. However, I do appreciate there are some students that come through to do PhDs or masters, etc., and they would come through on a nursing support worker membership. But whether you're a student or whatever you come through, if you work within those healthcare, you have the same rights through the trade union, the same support, the same rights. And actually, it is essential that we raise these areas of safety for patients and poor care and poor areas of delivery, because and people who are being blamed for things, or if they see things, they really need to escalate that. And that's what we're here for. Is we really we rely on our members. We rely on hearing from our members and then taking that forward for them as the voice of them, to be able to make sure that we make sure that nobody's in danger, whether that's staff or patients, because that is not acceptable in any way, shape or form.
Regarding the for the students nowadays, it's happening over here in the Portsmouth area is that.
Sorry, I didn't. Sorry.
Regarding, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So regarding the students, most of them, when they come early in Portsmouth areas, they would give 1-day training and all. Nowadays, they are not providing that training, and they are just saying you can have a compassion training and you can directly go to the home and have shadow shifts. And the students, those who are coming, they don't know what to do in the care home, and what a slide sheet mean to be, what a hoist is, and they don't know what they have to act in a care home. And they will be completely lost in the care home, and even the staff over there are looking at them like, why you are here? So we have to pressure the agencies who is providing these things to give the students or the newcomers a proper training as well. Otherwise, all the blames will be with us, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because they are getting.
The
agencies are getting the money.
They are accountable.
Yeah, the agencies are getting the money. Yeah.
They completely are, and they are accountable for that, and they have to be able to assure that the people that are undertaking the work have the skills that they're going in for. I wrote a huge document around that, so I know that they are accountable. They're accountable for your health, for the health and safety of those individuals who are under the care of people going in. So I think there's that. You're absolutely right. We have to tackle that from various different ways. And that the union is about.
Yeah, and also regarding with the if a person from an agency got a job, permanent job, and we are asking for reference, they are asking for money from the agency. They're asking for one reference around £1,500 for one reference for a student. They say you have to pay the agency, and then only you will get the reference. Then only you can move to the job.
Just
I got
around.
That's which is this?
It's Portsmouth area. We are facing the issue in Portsmouth area.
It's
I
across
got
the
around
UK.
10 students.
Sorry,
Okay.
got a related question there. A lot of people are scared to complain against their existing employer. It's because when they move job, they'll get a bad review or a reference. They don't know how the referencing works in the UK. And we are trying to make them understand, like, if you don't have any disciplinary action against you, like, you'll be safe. But still, it's quite easy for the employer to bring a disciplinary hearing, fabricating some case against them. within the care home. So they're all worried about the situation. That's why they're really scared to open up in this issue.
I understand that. I think there is something here about the first thing that we have to do is help you to trust us. Is one of the first areas. You know, help you to understand that we're here to help you, and that we're not going to put you in any difficulty at all. And the trade union laws are really, really clear within the UK around how we support you, and the trade union is here to support the workers. And across care homes, actually, we have what we call learning contracts with hundreds of care homes across the UK, where we have an expectation of the learning and the development and the care of their employees that they've signed up to. And we will hold them to account to that. And that isn't, we wouldn't go in and say X, Y, and Z told us there's a problem here, because that's not how this works. This works to make sure that you remain anonymous, and that we know that we can take that forward. And the legal and trade union department will be there to help you. But I can't stress enough as well, much of this training that you're talking about is available to you freely through the RCN. It is free. There are hundreds and hundreds of pieces of education and development and guidance and support that you can access on your phone through the RCN as a member. And that's another area that's worth considering, because we're not just a trade union. We are also, we have a royal charter decreed by the King that states that we have to deliver our education to you, and that we support you to be able to continue to develop and to do your job.
I think yes, exactly. I think there's a huge, from talking to everyone here, and there's a huge piece of work we have to do around learning, around awareness and empowerment. So I think, I don't know if it's a possibility, but if RCN could create a document as to what a legal, normal recruitment process looks like, and what the employer is accountable in terms of providing training, DBS, patient safety, that sort of thing, and what the person coming to do the job is accountable to. So there is no grey area there, so that you're actually empowering the person coming here to do the work to actually challenge if and when needed.
Yeah, completely. And we have that on our web pages. We also have monthly webinars that are available. You don't have to be a member of the RCN. You can access into those webinars. So there is I think there's one in a couple of weeks actually around employment law and trade union law. So what I'll make sure is you get all of that across to you as well, and you'll get the links to all of these areas where you can find this information out. That goes some way to developing the trust, to show you that what we're here for is to help you.
Exactly. Okay. Any more questions before we move on to the closing remarks?
Nikki, just on that student point of view, that particular student mentioned about they get recruited as students, but then they're recruited into a care home to do agency shift. And most of these students have no nursing background. They may be doing accountancy or business management or whatever. So this may be the first time this particular student might have seen a hospital setting or care home settings. So you can imagine how they feel, and where do we stand with the patient safety aspect. So that is quite a growing issue.
Yeah, completely. And the regulations around patient safety are very, very clear within the UK, from nursing support workers right the way up to, up to our registered members of staff. So, and I also would like to stress here that Ajmal and I had spoken as well around people who come over here and take up our work in domiciliary care or in care homes, but are registered and highly experienced, etc., at home, and are coming over here to sort of, and then may or may not go into that process of registering with the NMC. There's a big piece of work here to be able to say that if you have those skills and you are then being retained on a wage that does not actually support the skills that you already have, that again is illegal, and they need to be able to support you to register with the appropriate regulatory body, be that nursing or pharmacy or whatever. And we've had a big discussion about that over the last 24 hours as well. because I know that some of that is sometimes around references from employers, and employers are not allowed to not give references to stop you to remain in a certain job at a certain wage, and not progress, and they're not allowed to do that.
And just to clarify there, does that apply to someone who's coming on a certain visa? So for example, a carer visa, does it apply to
if they come over on a carer visa and then they decide to move forward and uptake into registration, activate their registration with the NMC, then they are allowed to do that. They're allowed to go through those processes to do that. And I know that the visas are very tight, and there is something here around us changing the visas, and we have been having some discussions with the government around that. Social care and the NHS within the UK run very differently to anywhere else, and they run very separately. I'm very sad to say they are not addressed together, but that does not mean that these problems should not be addressed by the union. And we work right across independent sector, social care, voluntary sector, and the NHS across all of the 4 countries. So each region and each country have specialists that are there to be able to help you and listen to you. So we have around, for an example, around the Portsmouth area, we have a group of individuals who are here, who are there ready to help you.
Thank you so much, Nikki. Just mindful of the time, I like to invite Cory and Jacob to give the closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya. Once again, on behalf of Kairali and all of us here, a huge thanks to Dr. Nichola Ashby for your valuable insights. It's a huge relief for us. Yeah, we've been discussing about the importance of trade union, but to hear from you, it's reassuring. And again, I know it's quite late in the evening. Thanks for your time. I would like to, before we close, I would like to give you a quick update. We are trying to connect a lot of candidates with the employers here. A lot of good employers have come forward to help them. We are collecting CVs from those who are registered with us now. Registered in the sense like those who complained against their agents and employers. So we are trying to do that, but I know it's not easy because they have to go through another recruitment process. Some of them are not free. We are trying to negotiate with them. We are trying every avenues, and also we are talking to the government back home in India, both the Indian government and the government of Kerala. We've been even personally talking to the police back home where they filed individual cases. Today we had a good meeting with the Consul General of India in Edinburgh. They promised every help, so we will be lodging a formal complaint against these agents and employers, and they have promised to also talk to the Home Office, which is a big relief. What I would request everyone is to stay strong. Ask for help. If you need help, please ask for help. Not just in the WhatsApp group, go to your community. There will be a lot of people who are willing to help you, and don't feel isolated. Don't feel rejected. We are all with you. And we'll be having another meeting soon. We'll have a regular update meeting soon. On top of that, we are trying to get a resource to get you all prepared for a job interview and to help you with your CV. Because if you're planning to switch your job, I've personally seen a lot of CVs, and we all feel you need help because to prepare you for the interview as well. So we are trying to get some resource for that, and I would ask everyone to follow the guidelines, and as we discussed, try to join the trade union and watch the videos. In the past, we have done few videos. Go watch them, ask questions. And hopefully we'll be over this soon. Back to Nikki. I can see your hands raised. Yep.
Thank you. You just made me think there around the other sort of things that are part of the membership. Other areas that are part of the membership are discounts. So discounts on food, discounts on shopping, discounts on electric bills. Those sorts of areas are also part of the membership, and also the ability to be able to help with interviews and CVs. And we have recently been commended. I don't know if people saw this in the papers, pulling together a document that is really important around those little colloquialisms, that the way that the English people speak and the different things across the counties that can sometimes place you in a place of difficulty if you don't understand something that somebody has said to you. What does that mean? And then that gives that employer an opportunity to be able to then blame you for something that isn't the case. So we're starting to pull all of this together, but there are videos and recordings of all of these areas around employment law that you'll be able to access, and I will get those to you. I'll get them to you by tomorrow.
Great, thank you. And we're also thinking of giving some sort of like high-level training for those who are going to, because most of them haven't got any formal training in the UK. So we are trying to get someone to give you some kind of, like, at least to give you an understanding of the etiquette when you go to a job or, like, interview, how to perform there. We're trying to get some support on that side as well. Thank you again, everyone, for spending the time with us and all the support you have been given Kairali UK in this good cause, and hoping to see you all soon. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.